Today, I'd like us to understand the fact that God fulfills promises. God never fails.
Created April 17, 2020, we are an assembly of Christians and without a care of our different denominations came together with the sole purpose of rebuilding our world by word of scripture. We are the Our World Group.
I want us to look at Matthew chapter 28, verse 8 to 15. When you follow this very passage, you're going to be unveiled to the fact that very early in the morning, when places were still very dark, the women were rushing to the tomb. When they arrived there, they noticed that the tomb was empty, and they noticed the presence of an angel who reassured them that Christ has risen. The risen Lord indicates that sin and death have been conquered. The risen Lord indicates that Christ has power over forces of darkness. The risen Lord indicates that God never fails and that he will always fulfill his promises. This is what the angel indicated to them, that Christ has risen. Just as he has said, he fulfilled the promise that he made, that he was going to rise on the third day. And when you look at this globally, when the women arrived, they were so filled with fear and joy at the same time, noticing that the tomb was empty. Sometimes in life, we are faced with this kind of confusion. At the same time, we are joyful and we may be having some fear in us too, fear of uncertainty. Now, sometimes when this happens, always remember that God is faithful and he will always fulfill his promises. This is how these women felt. They were frightened, but at the same time, they had some joy in them. And when the angel indicated to them that Christ has risen, as he had said, they were so happy. And then they were running back to go and indicate to others. The risen Lord indicates that sin and death have been conquered. The risen Lord indicates that Christ fulfills his promise and that God will always fulfill his promises and that our God is purposeful. The risen Lord indicates that God never fails. He keeps to his promises. So in whatever situation you find yourself today, do know that God never fails and God would always fulfill his promise. He will fulfill his promise in your life. Don't lose sight of the fact that God is faithful. God is honest. He will never fail his children. He will fulfill his promise in your life. Look up to him in faith.